And in a way, they remain true to that idea. One of the things that we'll discuss in a minute is whether or not they remain living sculptures, and the answer seems to be very much yes. Since you went to art school and met in London, you've always lived and worked in London. Could you ever conceive of living and working anywhere else, even though you've exhibited all around the world, or is London your place and it's where you want to be?
We don't live in London. We live in East London. We would never move from East London. Jack the Ripper.
Yes, we were so worried, so we asked a friend of ours to write a letter to the head of sculpture, asking whether he would recommend her for a project. And he wrote back, and the friend showed us the letter and said, "Dear Madam, under no circumstances have anything to do with these two people."
What called the other students were already outside our school. It was after secondary school that we started to do.
So what did you learn at art school? Because a lot of the artists here, I think, some of them will teach, and some won't. Some will have learned a lot.
Drinking.
This one is called Inertia in Motion. Inertia in Motion. Again, this is glass, 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 glass. And these are, again, we have the use of the mandalas here all the time, circles and everything. So they all have the same elements that are going into them, the same process in each one of them, but then they end up with them. There's another thing, many of these paintings come from my dreams, believe it or not. The design, I will see the design in my dreams completely there. And I remember the design the next morning, the next week, the next month. It's there. I know exactly what it's going to look like from my dreams. So the designs themselves come from either the subconscious or the unconscious. And every single one of these things has come from either, just like that, from the unconscious or the subconscious. And then it sticks in my mind until it's put down on paper. Well, I came to Florence a year ago when we were on the Queen Mary. We stopped off down in Mediterranean, took the bus up to Florence, and I saw David and all the sculptures and everything. It was my second visit to Florence. I like Florence. I like the people, naturally. I like the people, and I like the spirit. Everybody has a wonderful time here, seemingly. The people, that's what inspired me the most. Because I say I'm from New York, and everybody happened to be, every other person seems to be in New York from Italy sometime. We have a lot of Italian restaurants, and the people are so New Yorkish kind of here. I like that. How many wonderful artists do come here, and the fact that you can get some kind of good recognition for being here. So I made a very definite point of wanting to be here. I didn't know there would be 700 artists here, but everybody seems to be marvelous. That's what's the most interesting, how good all the art is. That is from the standpoint of originality, uniqueness, and their own thing. They're doing their own thing. So that's the first thing that impresses you, how much really good art there is surrounding from so many different people. The brass leaf is made in Germany, and so is the aluminum leaf. It's from Europe. You can't get them, you have to buy them in a special store. They come in pads and they're so light they float. So it's a combination of all those different elements that go into each one of these paintings. Most of my career is in the advertising agency business, where I've worked on mostly about 4 or 5 different agencies, writing commercials for a lot of the major brands, including drug brands, and all kinds, and for instance automobiles, airlines, drugs, railroads, all kinds of stuff like that. Many, many, many different kind of brands. But before that, though, I had a lot of jobs. I was in the theater for a while. I was a stage manager, professional stage manager, and a little bit of an actor. And before that, I used to work in factories. Before I went way back in the 40s. And that was in the factories on the assembly line of the International Harvester Company making tractors. So my other job, really great job, was a police reporter for the City News Bureau in Chicago, where I had to go out and bring in, report on all the crimes and everything else. That was about 3 years. So then I also had a job as managing editor of a magazine at the Arbitron Company. Now I'm an artist.